Andrew Garfield is the best Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire is the best Peter Parker. Tom Holland is the perfect Spider-Man and Peter Parker. Most fans tended to think so. But No Way Home changed everything. Villains. The villains related to Tom are rather incomprehensible. They lack zest. The plot is incomprehensible. Go online and you'll know that Mysterio is Tony Stark's enemy. The new movie allows us not to talk about the Vulture. Since Tom has faced all the villains, Andrew and Tom have weaker villains compared to Tobey, Green Goblin, and the brilliant acting of Willem Dafoe. Dr. Octopus is actually considered the best of all the villains in the Spider-Man movies. That was until the premiere of No Way Home. Now every Spider-Man battled all the villains, so without further ado, we'll give each one 10 points. Suit. Tobey's suit looked pretty good. Because of the lack of graphics, it wasn't realistic enough. There were 6 versions of the suit on the set. Because they were stolen, we found out the price. One suit was worth $30,000. This allows us to appreciate the value and how much effort Sony put into this item. Andrew's suit was the most similar to the comic book version. It looked very realistic, and really, the actor was so comfortable in it that he even played basketball wearing it. The only downside was the frosted eyes, which is not Tom's case. Tony Stark designed a technologically advanced suit. The first thing that strikes the eye is actually his eyes. This little detail has a special meaning. Because of it, Spider-Man can express his emotions without taking off his mask. Holland's problem is that he hardly ever uses the suit on the set. That's why we see blurred details and an unrealistic picture in the movie. However, in the new movie, we see a suit that Peter himself sewed. He deserves the maximum score in this criterion. He had a lot of different versions. Just to name one, the Iron Spider-Man. And especially at the end of No Way Home, he did what everyone has long wanted to see. Tom gets 10 points, Andrew gets 9 points, and Tobey gets 8 points. We're going to score based on these criteria. Just in time. Villains, suit, Peter Parker, intellect, Spider-Man. Peter Parker. Tom Holland was the youngest of all the actors. Stan Lee said that when he was creating Parker, he imagined him to look like Tom. What's important is that he's a real teenager. He has some love issues, especially there's an intriguing moment at the end of the movie. When MJ and everyone else has forgotten about him, every year he grows up and takes a step into his adulthood. Speaking of his environment, he had Tony Stark, who had died. Aunt May, who looked good as Marissa Tomei, great for erotic memes, but it's not the best version of Auntie. She's also dead. Friend Ned didn't contribute anything much except an epic handshake. But he forgot him too. Put yourself in his shoes once you've lost everyone you cared about. Compared to Tobey Maguire, he has a constantly strained relationship with Harry Osborn. Every second my heart is ready to burst from their relationship. Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker showed and confirmed all the comic book themes. He conveyed the character well as an outsider and a nerd at the same time. One who could converse about science with the geniuses like Osborn and Octopus. As Peter Parker, Andrew Garfield is the weakest of the three. He's good, but he doesn't stand out in any way. Tom Holland, especially after the premiere of the new movie, deserves 10 points. I wouldn't say Tobey can get 10 points, so he gets 9, and Andrew gets just 6 points. Intellect. I don't like the fact that Tom always makes dumb mistakes. To begin with, we can say something about his personality. Admit that it's easy for his acquaintances to figure out that he's Spider-Man. Many people have easily noticed it. For example, Ned, Aunt May, Zendaya. Who else would interfere with Strange during his spell? Who would trust Stark's security system so easily? Well, I admit it. Tom made himself a suit, cured Dr. Octopus, and created an anti-serum for Green Goblin. I also like the part where the 3 Spider-Men are working on research. Tobey Maguire's manner and attitude are as nerdy as possible. He can keep up a conversation with Octopus and Norman Osborn. His modesty is truly infatuating. Andrew Garfield conducted spectacular experiments with the web and perfected his father's formula. Another important fact is that Andrew solved the formula that turns Curtis Connors into a lizard. In this round, Tobey and Andrew get 9 points each, and Tom gets only 7 points. Spider-Man. Speaking of Spider-Man, Andrew is legendary. His fight scene with the firefighters is something special. Andrew's Spider-Man is tall, agile, his fighting skills are shown more epically, and his humor is the best part of the film's ideology. Tobey can't boast a sense of humor. Tom Holland is an unconventional superhero. He's awkward and funny while being inventive and brave. Above all, he gets older and more experienced with each movie. His character faces more serious problems and tragedies, including the death of Tony Stark, Aunt May, and the fact that his identity humanity has been forgotten by everyone. Aunt May was killed by Green Goblin. We talked more about this in the video Green Goblin vs. Green Goblin. Andrew Garfield is the most underrated superhero in the world. You shouldn't blame the actor, as he did a great job in the movie. This mistake lay with the filmmakers and the script. In this round, I guess Andrew deserves 10 points, Tom deserves 9 points, and Tobey 8 points. To sum up, we got a very interesting result. There's no difference between second and third place. Tobey and Andrew got 44 points each, and Tom got 46. He won this battle. Frankly, we didn't expect that. Do you agree with us?